Go ahead. Turn it up. It's the Record Machine Show with your host, Jimmy Howe.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Eden on Fire, singer, keyboardist, Amy Gould. Amy, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Where are you calling from tonight?
I am calling from Erie, Pennsylvania, from home.
So that's where you're from originally?
Yeah, I mean, originally I'm from all over the place. I grew up in northwestern Pennsylvania, and then I lived in Philly for a lot of years. And then I moved back to northwestern Pennsylvania, and I've been here for quite some time. But I just moved up to the Erie area about 3 years ago.
Wow. The winters get cold there, I assume, right?
Yeah, and a lot of snow.
Because I remember
So,
I left Jersey in 2018, and I couldn't take those winters anymore.
yeah, yeah, it's a little bit even colder here. When I lived in Philly, when it used to snow, everybody, raided the, grocery stores for milk and bread and whatever and toilet paper. Here, it's just kind of everyday stuff, but we get a lot of snow here. But
Nice.
they're ready for it, so it's not so bad.
That's cool. Now, tell me about your musical background. When did you first get involved in music?
So I have been doing this myself since I was pretty young kid. I always tell the funny story. I wanted to be an artist. Like I wanted to draw and paint and all those things when I was like in, I want to say like fourth grade. Now it was more like second or third grade. And back in those days, your grades were like those weird grades, like you got an S for satisfactory and an O for outstanding. And I remember I got an S in art because I suck. I can't draw or paint to save my life. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be, paint the Mona Lisa or something. But in music class, I got an O and I was like, maybe I should rethink this. I'm a little bit better in this stuff. So, and it was funny, but I actually just really loved music and I really was drawn to it. And I was the kid that, the teacher said to the classroom, if this class doesn't calm down, I'm going and pay attention. I'm going to make each one of you stand up and sing this all by yourself. And I raised my hand and I said, can I do it? And she was like, okay. So here I am in like, third grade standing up singing a solo in class because I wanted to.
Nice.
So, yeah. So that's, I started out pretty young being a ham and singing, and I played instruments growing up. I played flute in band, and I just started taking piano lessons. I want to say like in fourth grade, but I started playing by ear before that. So I've just kind of always been around music since I was pretty young. I was in my first rock band when I was 16, so I got bitten by that bug at a young age. So I've been doing it for a while.
Awesome. Now, who were some of your biggest musical influences, and how have they shaped your style, would you say?
I would say as I was growing up, I would look to like Pat Benatar is my big all-time biggest influence and my big idol still. I always say if I don't get nervous anymore on stage, but if I had to open for her, I'd probably be a little wobbly kneed because I just really look up to her. I just was very impressed. I kind of wanted to be her as a teenager. The fact that she's classically trained, but yet she gets out there and belts, and I just love that. And then also, I was really into the female artists of the time that got into the heavier stuff. So, Heart and Vixen. I was really into Vixen, which was pretty cool because I got to meet them recently. So that was really cool on my bucket list.
Nice.
And hang out and talk to Roxy Petrucci a little bit. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, that kind of stuff, I was listening to a lot of that, but I was all over the place. I listened to a lot of pop growing up as well, but I was really into the Go-Go's at one point. But definitely I'm very heavily influenced by the female heavier rockers, Joan Jett, things like that, was where I kind of wanted to be vocally.
Did you like Evanescence?
Yeah, when they came out, I was a little older. I'm not going to tell my age, but yeah, and I do. It's an interesting, different. It was different when it came out, so it was like, this is cool because we finally have like the nu metal is, a female in the nu metal world, which was pretty cool. I really loved Hailstorm. Hailstorm. I just love what Lizzie Hale has done with that band. I think they're phenomenal. But Evanescence kind of had a new spin on it where they were kind of crossing over more into that nu metal sound. So yeah, I do. And I like how Amy Lee does sort of the melodic vocals over that heavy driving sound. So that's pretty cool.
Definitely. Yeah, I see Lizzie's filling in for Skid Row, doing a couple shows with them, right?
I saw that. I was like, talk about it being a really cool deal to have that happen for you,
Yeah, I haven't heard anything on it yet, but I'm sure there's probably some videos up, right, on YouTube, because I think she did a couple of shows already.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from it yet, but I'm anxious to see it.
Let's talk about your band, Eden on Fire. When did you form, and who were the players?
So the band consists of myself. I'm on vocals and keys. And our guitar player is Rick Knapp. Our bass player is Scott Hagerty, and our drummer is Michael Calabrese. We actually formed in 2022, and we started playing out pretty much in 2023. It was like the end of 2022, I want to say. So we haven't been out that terribly long. We're a fairly new band, and but we're very excited because things have been kind of happening pretty quickly for us. So we're pretty happy about all that.
That's good. Now, is there a good music scene there in Erie?
Erie actually has a pretty fabulous music scene up here. People are quite surprised. There is something to do pretty much almost every night of the week here for music,
Nice.
whether it's open mic or, there's a really big cover band scene here, especially a lot of tribute bands and cover bands. And the original scene is actually booming pretty good here. So it's busy here. And it's harder ever since COVID, some of the venues have shut down, but it's starting to bounce back. So, we have people come in from Pittsburgh and Buffalo, New York, to Erie because they're saying, we don't have as many venues. So it's kind of cool that we're feeling like we're a little bit more of a city now.
Nice.
We are a city. We're a small city. But.
Sounds good. Now, let's talk about a couple of songs. This podcast will feature two of your songs, Love Bomb and Listen to Me. What's the story behind those two songs?
So, Love Bomb is I write what I know. I'll just tell you that right now. All the songs that I write are basically pulled from some sort of experience in my life. I am the lyricist, and in fact, both of those songs, I wrote the basic structure of the songs and then brought them to the band. Love Bomb I wrote on piano, which is kind of funny, and I brought it to the band and I said, listen to this song. I don't want any piano in it. I don't want any keyboards in it. And they're looking at me like, okay, then what do we do? And I'm like, I don't know, but this is how it's supposed to sound. So,
Nice.
and it was our guitar player, Rick's actually first project with us. So we had been through a few different guitar players at the beginning, and he was the one that fit. So he's the one that kind of came up with the really cool riffs for that. But Love Bomb is actually about, it's a term that's used for, relationships when you're in a dysfunctional relationship with somebody who basically is kind of like a cycle of abuse situation where after the fight and after the bad stuff that happens, the person goes and buys you flowers and buys you candy and does all the nice things and takes you out to dinner and just to try to kiss and make up, just to turn around and do all the crappy stuff to you again. So It's called love bombing, So that's what that song is actually about. And it's drawn from my past experience. I was out of the music scene for quite a few years because I was in a very, very terrible marriage, which I finally got out of. And when that happened, the pandemic hit, and which kind of was awful, but at the same time, it was a mixed blessing for me because it gave me a lot of time to sit at the piano and start writing again. So that's really where a lot of these songs came from, was me sitting back down and getting back into this writing process. So that's where that song is inspired from.
Mm-hmm. And Listen to Me?
And Listen to Me is more of a general thing. It was inspired pretty much by somebody I was in a relationship with who was just like, you're not paying attention to what I'm actually saying to you. If you would really listen to what I'm saying, you would understand that what you're thinking isn't the truth, kind of thing. Like you're missing the point. And it just kind of inspired me to write this song. Like, people don't listen to each other. Like we listen, but we don't hear. You know what I mean? So that's what that song really is about. It's that relationship problem where, listen to me because you're not hearing what I'm saying. And that's the lyric literally in the song. And if you did, things would be cool. So
Right.
That's kind of what that song really is all about.
When you guys write a new song, you do the lyrics first and then you take it to the band and then they do the music?
No, generally I write a lot of the music and take it to the band. So It depends. I mean, we've had a couple songs that our guitar player Rick has written some of the riffs for ahead of time, and I've had some lyrics that I've just had laying around, and we've thrown them together. But most of the songs, all the songs that we've released so far, I have written preliminarily at home, brought them to the band, and said, "Okay, this is what I got. I got lyrics, I got a chorus, I got this piano riff." And I've got sort of a complete song, but let's take it apart. And we do. We take it apart, and what happens then as a band, we analyze the song, and it gets shredded and ripped apart, and everybody gets their input, and it gets rewritten pretty much as a band as a whole. So we collaborate really well together, so that it can be a painful process sometimes, especially if you really like something that you just did, and somebody says, "No, I don't like it," but we do really write well together. So, but most of the time that's the process. Again, sometimes Rick has something that he'll bring, and he'll play a riff, and I'll be like, "Ooh, I think this will work good with some old lyrics I had laying around that I didn't have anything for." And we've done that a couple of times, though.
So what comes first for you, the melody or the lyrics?
It depends. There's been a couple of times where I was really mad about something, and I was just like, "Ooh," and I started scribbling down lyrics, and I've written the lyrics. Other times I'll be sitting at the piano, and I'll come up with just something that I like in my head, and I'll play it, and I'll have a melody that I'm singing, and I'm singing like marshmallow, watermelon, whatever I can, words along with the melody, because I'm hearing the song in my head, but I don't know what the words are yet.
Nice.
And then eventually the words will come. So it just depends. It really, I don't know how else to put it. It just depends on the situation sometimes.
Nice. Now, what tools or instruments are essential in your songwriting?
For me to write personally?
Yeah.
My piano, and I am dabbling with guitar, so I'm using that. Basically, those are the two things that I use. I have an electric key, I have a Yamaha keyboard, but I also have a digital piano at home that I use. So I play around with both of those things and the guitars. I have an acoustic guitar, and I have a couple different electric guitars. So I mess around with all of those now. So I've written one of our songs that has not been released, and it won't be on our album because it's a newer one. It'll be on the next album called Queen Bee, and I did write the riff for that on guitar.
Nice.
So I'm starting to do a little bit more of that, but mostly it's on piano.
Very cool. Now, I noticed on your YouTube page, you have several lyric videos and even an official music video for Listen to Me. Now,
Yes.
Did you enjoy shooting that music video as much as recording the song?
Oh, absolutely. We had a blast. And in fact, we have another video that's going to be being released here very soon for Broken, which we had almost equally as much fun doing. That process is just a really good time. I mean, recording's great. Recording can be very grueling sometimes too. It's a lot of work. I'm not going to say it's not fun work, but it's a lot of work. But shooting a video is fun.
Well, that one looked like it was. It looked like it's like a short film in a way, because the song's about 4 minutes, but the video is almost 13.
Yeah, well, the song is long. It's like 7.5 minutes. It's a long song, but it's our longest song that we have. But yeah, the video is very long because we did add like quite a bit to it. And that came about because I had this idea, I had this concept, because in my day job, I actually do work with school students, and I thought this would be a really cool idea because listen to me, kids aren't ever listening to you. And I'm like, this would be kind of cool if we did this idea of having these unruly students and this transformation of the teacher from, the nerdy teacher to the cool rocker chick teacher, kind of like the whole, the Grease Sandra D kind of thing,
Right.
And, we didn't even really know how it was going to get played out, but I had a really good friend who is a music teacher at one of the local schools. And I said, hey, what would be the odds that we could borrow you and borrow the classroom and, to do some music video shooting? And she's like, let me see. And she got right back to me within a couple hours. She's like, not only can you do this, but I can get you the kids and I can make this happen. And the school's all on board. When do you want to do it? And I was like, are you kidding me? That's all so awesome.
Wow.
So yeah, so they made it happen. It was so awesome. And so the kids, some of them didn't even know they were going to be in a music video till that day, so that morning. And in fact, one of them was the principal's daughter. She had just come in because it was summer school, and she just come in to hang out with her dad for the day because he was just going to do some errands at the school. And she got pulled in. And so it was really fun. And it was kind of like we had our own little school of rock that day, because these kids just, first of all, they were just kind of starstruck that they were hanging out with a rock band. And then, and we were having fun playing instruments in the music room with them and hanging out. And they were just really cool, fun kids. So it was a fun day. We really did have a good time.
It looked like it when I watched the video. It reminded me of like the rock videos back in the 80s, like Motley Crue, like the Smoking in the Boys Room, or the Twisted Sister video, with the kids in the classroom, and even like Van Halen too, like, the Hot for Teacher. I mean, it was pretty cool. Yeah.
And that's what was inspiring. I said, I'm an 80s child. So, and all of us in the band are, and we're all like, I nothing against what everybody else is doing today, but I want to do the old school video. I want a story. I want to be entertained. And so I want to do that. And so our next video release will not be, a 20-minute video, but it's also going to be another one with a bit of a story. Now, we didn't go comedy this time. We're going horror this time, but
nice.
So we're having fun with it. I just think it gives a little bit more of a visual, and apparently it worked for us because we got over 14,000 views on that video so far. So I feel like we did something right there.
And you said that the next one is for the song Broken?
Yes.
Now, that song Broken, you're up for Best Song of the Year at the ISSA Awards, and also in a few other categories as well. What's it like writing songs, doing something that you love, and then being nominated for an award for it?
I mean, it feels pretty fantastic. This whole year has been kind of surreal for me. Like my dream always growing up has been to do what I'm doing today. And, we got signed this year by a record label. And after that, I've looked at the band and I said, anything else that, comes now is just icing on the cake. I mean, I've reached the goals that I had always dreamed of doing. So every little thing that happens now is just a bonus, and I'm enjoying every moment of it. But yeah, to actually have my name out there and, be part of these awards is just a great honor, and it feels good. And I've had people, talking about being a songwriter. This is the first band that I've ever been in that I've actually put my music out there. Like, I have written lyrics and the vocal lines for bands before. And this is not my first rodeo with that, but this is the first time I've ever said, okay, let me write a whole song, and I wrote it in MIDI or whatever, and I bring it to the band completed and say, here, and like vulnerable, it's so vulnerable, to say, here's my music. Do you like it? Let's do it. And it's a little bit of a scary process, but that's what I've been doing. And that's what's gotten us where we are today. So I'm like, wow, this is, why did I do this 20 years ago? But,
right.
It feels really good. And I've had people tell me, like, our song Fallen that we've had has just resonated with them. And it makes me feel so good when I hear stuff like that, because that song's deeply personal, but other people relate to it in different ways. And I've had a lot of people tell me that. And I'm just like, wow, that just makes me feel amazing to hear that.
Now, isn't it pretty cool how people have different interpretations of your songs? But I guess it doesn't really matter as long as they get something out of it. It makes them feel good, right?
Right, exactly. That's what it's all about. I mean, it really is. It's about, for me, it's about initially it's about me getting something out that's inside it's almost like my therapy. And then after that process, it's about getting it out to somebody else so they can hear it, so they can maybe use it in some way, and, about performing it for them so that they can appreciate that and feel that and connect with it. So that's my ultimate goal.
You mentioned earlier an album. When can we expect the album?
Well, we don't have a drop dead date yet, but we are hoping this summer. I'm hoping by the end of June we should see something, and that's what we're hoping right now. We are in the process of just the mix and mastering process of the songs right now, so we're almost there.
About what, 8 songs, 10 songs?
It's going to be a 10-song album with a bonus track. So
very nice. A title?
Yeah, Unresolved.
Oh, okay. Now, any shows coming up?
We do. We're pretty busy. We have a little bit of time off in June because there's some band member vacations happening, but we are busy this May. In fact, this coming weekend we're off, but then the following weekend we are going to be on Saturday the 11th of May. We're going to be down in the Pittsburgh region for a music convention called Music Con, and that's in Washington, PA. So that's kind of exciting, a big music convention happening there. And then the following weekend after that, we're going to be back up in Erie here at the Rathskeller, which is a pretty cool little pub here in Erie, and we'll be playing there on a Saturday night. And then we're going to be at the end of the month at another cool local club here playing, and hopefully, weather permitting, we may be outdoor for that one. So we're going to be pretty much around the Erie area most of the time. But in September, we're going to be heading on a little mini tour, and we're going to be going down to Winchester, Virginia. And then we're going to be heading back to York, Pennsylvania, and we got a couple of bands. One of them is Lilith Rising, and we're talking to a couple other bands right now about touring with us. So we're kind of excited about that one.
Got to play the House of Blues in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, we'd love to. Yeah, we're trying to get out a little bit more. We're looking at spreading our wings a little bit more now. Like I said, we're on year. I guess this is like year 2.5 going on 3 for us, so we're about ready to start hitting the road a little bit more.
In May and September we have Bike Week down here, and they always have metal bands down here.
Nice.
Yeah, so they probably love your music if you guys were playing down here during Bike Week.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Now, do you have a website you'd like to promote?
We do. It's pretty easy to remember. It's EdenOnFire.com. And if you head there, you can pretty much find everything out about us. All our socials, links are there. Our merch site, you can buy our merch. There's a link to that there. Any of the streaming sites that are available, you can find there. And you can find us pretty much on all the streaming services as well as YouTube. We have our 4 singles that are out right now. And again, eventually there will be an album, but for now we have the 4. And we do have some live video footage on our YouTube as well, which has a lot of our other music on there. It's, it's just live footage though. It's not professionally done. So it is what it is sound wise, but, we do have that one music video that's completed, and hopefully very soon you'll be seeing that new one.
Awesome. Now, is there anything you'd like to mention that we didn't talk about tonight?
Oh boy, let me think. Not off the top of my head. I think that pretty much covers everything that I can think of. Like I said, we are, in the studio finishing things up and going to get that album out. And that's pretty much it for right now. We're busy.
Awesome. Well, Amy, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed chatting with you about your music.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on.
Anytime. And when that new album comes out, if you want to come back on the show, send me an email. I'd love to have you back on again.
Hey, I would love to. Thank you so much.
All right, Amy. Well, you have a great night, all right?
Thank you. You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Record Machine Show is a weekly radio podcast produced by Jimmy Howell Productions. All rights reserved. For information regarding distribution or adding this podcast to your website, please visit our contact page at therecordmachineshow.com to submit your request. Thanks for listening. See you next time on The Record Machine Show.
The Record Machine Show.